Davidina McLeod and Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie, you are both indicted and charged with theft, contrary to Section 1 of the Theft Act 1968. The particulars of this offence being that you, on the 23rd of November 1975, stole a vehicle, a land oil tanker, the property of Polestar Petroleum. To this indictment, do you plead guilty or not guilty? Davidina McLeod?
Not guilty.
Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie?
Not guilty.
Now, before this hearing begins, I would like to say something. I recall once reading in, what was otherwise an excessively boring book, that anything may become a symbol at any time. And this would seem to apply to the case in the court today. It has apparently acquired a character that transcends a merely simple case of theft. Nevertheless, I am determined that this case shall be conducted in a proper and seemly fashion. And I shall deal severely with any interruptions or attempted demonstrations.
The jury in this trial has been selected from members of the public, whose names appeared on the electoral register and who are eligible for jury service.
Mr. Latimore.
My lord, I call Miriam Monroe.
Take the Bible in your right hand. Read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Is your full name Marilyn Monroe?
Yes, it is.
Yes, and you live at 4th View, Nicholson Street, Grangemouth, Stirlingshire, Scotland.
That's correct.
And what is your occupation, Miss Monroe?
I'm a telephonist in the Grangemouth office of Polestar Petroleum.
And how long have you worked there?
For about 4 years.
Yes. Now, Miss Monroe, were you on duty on the morning of the 22nd of November, 1975?
I was.
And do you remember receiving a certain telephone call?
Yes, quite clearly.
Yes. Now, could you give the court more details about that telephone call?
Well, it came in at precisely 11:27.
Miss Monroe, why are you able to pinpoint the time so accurately?
Well, it was such a weird call that I made a note of the time.
Yes, I see. Now, was the caller a man or a woman?
It was a woman.
What did this woman say?
She said, "Target, tanker, tomorrow, termites."
And what action did you take in response to this cryptic message?
I contacted our head of security.
Thank you, Miss Monroe.
Miss Monroe, you've been a telephonist how long?
Oh, for about, since I left school, for about 10 years.
I should imagine all that experience makes you, whether you know it or not, an expert in human voices.
Well, you know, you're so right.
Yes, and accents, perhaps.
Oh, yes, you get all of that, especially since all this tirivy about the oil.
Yes. Now, Miss Monroe, the woman who made this call to you, can you describe her accent?
Well,
was she Scotch?
No. Scotch is whiskey. The woman who made the call was Scottish.
Yes, my apologies, Miss Monroe. What can you tell us about her accent?
It was a lowland accent.
Yes.
And sort of pan loaf.
Ah, well, do you think you could explain that term for the court, Miss Monroe?
Oh, Jack, your head's bashed flat.
Miss Monroe.
Well, that was someone saying, oh, Jack, your hat's bashed flat in a pan-loaf accent.
Ah, I see. Thank you, Miss Monroe. My lord, with your permission, I'd like it to be possible that Miss Monroe should hear the defendant's Davidina McLeod speak.
Mr. Lattimore?
No objection, my lord.
Miss McLeod, if you'd be so kind.
The rose of all the world is not for me. I want for my part only the little white rose of Scotland that smells sharp and sweet and breaks the heart.
I thought I had made myself abundantly clear in my opening remarks about this kind of interruption. Now, if it happens again, I shall immediately clear the court. Mr. Parson.
My lord. Now, Miss Monroe, you listened to Miss McLeod carefully, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Now, was there any resemblance between her voice and the voice of the woman who passed on the message to you?
I would say none at all.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Monroe.
My lord, I would like to avail myself of the permission already granted to my learned friend by asking the defendant, Davidina McLeod, to speak once more.
Very well.
Miss McLeod? Yes. Now, would you mind saying something in what has been described in this court as a pan-loaf accent?
Had you anything specific in mind?
Well, actually, I hadn't, but now that you mention it, why not repeat the message that Miss Monroe received?
Gladly, if you'll tell me what it is.
Target, tanker, tomorrow, termite.
Target, tanker, tomorrow, termites.
Yes, thank you. Well, Miss Monroe?
Well, the accent's a bit much, perhaps.
Yes, but did that sound like your mysterious caller?
Yes, it did.
Thank you very much, Miss Monroe. I call Peter Telfer.
Peter Telfer.
Take the Bible in your right hand, read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Your name is Peter Aloysius Telfer. Is that right?
That's right. Sir.
Yes. And you live at 115 Keir Hardy Road, Grangemouth, Stirlingshire, in Scotland?
Yes.
What is your profession, Mr. Telfer?
I'm a long-distance lorry driver.
And you are employed with Polestar Petroleum, are you not?
I've been with them 5.5 years. Next Burns night.
Yes, now, Mr. Telfer...
25th of January to you.
Yes, quite. Now, Mr. Telfer, were you working on Tuesday, the 22nd of November, 1975?
Yes, I was. I was taking one of the big tankers from Grangemouth to Fulchester.
Yes, and did you leave Grangemouth at 2:15 p.m.?
On the dot, Jimmy.
Mr. Telfer, you will please address counsel in a more dignified manner.
Well, everybody in Glasgow calls everybody else Jimmy.
Well, that may very well be the case, but other parts of the country may not yet be ready for such blatant democracy.
Aye, OK, Judge.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Telfer, did you break your journey in Glasgow?
Yes, I did. Always do. Go to an old mate of mine on Minerva Street, Jimmy Docherty. Used to drive the big motors till they got brewed up in a 6-car pile-up.
Now, was there a girl present at Mr. Doherty's on that occasion?
Aye, there was a wee bird present.
Yes, now, can you see that wee bird here in court today?
There she's sitting up there, next to Jackie Stewart.
Jackie Stewart?
That bampot that smashed my motor up.
Now, did your friend, Mr. Doherty, ask you to do something for this girl?
Yes, he asked me to give her a lift. Said she was a folk singer and that there was a gig waiting for her in Kendal if she could get there. Wee bird was brassic lint.
Huh?
Skint.
Ah, yes, quite. Now, did you agree to give her a lift?
Yes, I did. She was a friend of Teresa Gibson's. Well, I used to work for Teresa's old man.
Yes, well, Mr. Telfer, during the journey from Glasgow, did you have a conversation with Miss McLeod?
That's why you give folks lifts.
Well, what subjects did you discuss?
The bundle. I mean, you name it, we talked about it.
Well, did you, for example, discuss politics?
That's the one subject that everybody in Scotland's an expert on.
Yes. Can you remember anything that Miss McLeod said?
Well, she was very heavy on the English. Said she hated to see an Englishman with a white woman.
Really? Can you remember anything else?
She got all het up about oil. It was Scotland's oil, she said. And here was I driving it south to save England from going broke. Then she said, if I gave you the fee that I'm getting from this gig, would you turn your lorry round and take the oil back where it belongs? I told her to go and get raffled.
Yes, Mr. Telfer, during the course of the journey, was there any further mention of Teresa Gibson?
Yes. She said that Teresa Gibson was the queen of the Catholic mafia in Glasgow.
Was that all she said about her?
Yes. Well, I think I discouraged her when I told her my middle name was Aloysius.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Telfer, did you, that same night, about 9:15, stop for your second break?
That's right. We stopped at Big Mabel's Calf on the Kendal side of Shap.
Can you tell us what happened there?
Well, I parked the motor and me and her went into the calf and I asked her, did she want something to eat? And she said anything. But first she had to go for a pee.
Did the young lady fail to return and to rejoin you?
Well, that's just what happened. I waited and waited. No joy. So I asked one of the waitresses to go and check in case she needed a plumber or something.
You are saying, in fact, that she was away for an inordinate time.
Yes.
What did you then do, Mr. Telfer?
Well, I'm back to my bangers and chips.
Mr. Telfer, you seem to have accepted the disappearance of this young lady very calmly. Eh?
Oh, well, you see, Your Honour, I mean, these skippers are headbangers.
Skippers?
Aye, wee tarts that travel up and down the motorway. The lads all call them skippers.
Is that a new term for hitchhikers?
Oh, no, sir, definitely not. No, I mean, no way.
Oh, in what way does it differ?
Well, to let you understand, Your Honour, you see, a hitchhiker is always going somewhere. Yeah. I mean, you see them standing there by the roadside, holding up a big chunk of cardboard with where they're going, written on it, you know, London, Inverness, Dar es Salaam, or whatever.
And this does not apply to skippers?
Right. No. A skipper will get a lift from, say, Aberdeen to Southampton. Then she'll maybe pick up another lift to Bristol, and then maybe Bristol to Liverpool and so on. They spend their lives travelling in lorry cabins.
Extraordinary. Oh, I am so sorry.
Now, Mr. Telfer, having had your second break, did you then leave the cafe in order to resume your journey?
Well, that was intentions, right enough.
Yes. Did something happen to prevent you from carrying out that intention?
Aye. Nae lorry.
Someone had taken your vehicle, is that correct?
Correct.
What did you then do?
Phoned the police.
Now, for how long had you left your vehicle unattended?
Half an hour, near enough.
Now, tell me, Mr. Telfer, how far could your vehicle have travelled during the half hour in which you were absent?
About 20 miles.
Thank you, Mr. Telfer.
Mr. Telfer, if you were asked to pick a girl as a decoy, what sort of qualities would you look for?
First she'd have to be a looker, right?
Well, I think we can take that for granted.
And, I think she'd have to be a hard-wee cookie.
Yes. What precisely do you mean by hard?
Well, able to handle herself, you know.
Anything else?
Well, I mean...
Do you think these qualities fit Miss McLeod?
No. Yes.
No and yes. I see. Now, Mr. Telfer, I believe that lorry drivers as a group regard themselves as knights of the road.
Some of us do, yes.
Now, Mr. Telfer, in the nightly circles you frequent, what's an artificial leg?
Mr. Telfer, you must answer the question.
Well, an artificial leg is a piece of wood that we sometimes use to keep the accelerator jam down.
On what occasions would it be used? Would it be used, for example, to release a driver, shall we say, being serviced by one of those Madonnas of the motorway, a skipper working her passage?
What has that got to do with it?
Mr. Telfer, is it not the case that during the journey from Glasgow you behaved towards Miss McLeod as you would behave towards the lowest of skippers? Did you not insult her both physically and verbally? Did you not force your attentions upon her to the extent she took the first available opportunity of running away?
She did not run away. It was all part of the plan between her and Stewart-Mackenzie.
Now, let me refresh your memory for a moment, Mr. Telfer. You said that Miss McLeod was absent for half an hour.
Aye, near enough.
Yes. How long are you allowed for your break?
Half an hour.
Yes, so that when you went back to your lorry, you were acting the same way as you would have done had Miss McLeod not been a passenger.
What do you mean?
Well, what I'm trying to put to you is this, Mr. Telfer. If you took your normal half-hour break, you could in no way have been suspicious of Miss McLeod. So how can you then say that you believed she was acting as a decoy?
Oh, come on, do you think my bloody heat buttons up the back or something, Jimmy?
Mr. Telfer.
TV lawyers.
You are Police Constable Ian Murdoch Alcock of the Cumbrian Police Station in Kendal.
That is correct, sir.
And in the early morning of November the 23rd, 1975, you were on duty in Pandakar, XBC 1003.
At approximately 0045 hours on the 23rd of November 1975, I had reached, in the course of my patrol, a spot known to local ornithologists as Hoverhawk Hill.
Yes, now, from this position, did you notice something unusual?
Yes, a tremendous red glow in the sky to the northwest, a huge fire of some sort.
Can you describe for the court what you saw?
Well, sir, it was most impressive. There was an area roughly circular, about 50 yards in diameter, that was one great sheet of flames. In the centre was a white-hot mass, which could be identified as a large articulated lorry which had finally come to rest upside down. There was a horrible smell of burning oil and a disgusting stench of roasting flesh and burning wool.
Roasting flesh and burning wool.
The lorry had landed among a flock of sheep, my lord.
Now, Constable Alcock, did you form any opinion as to the cause of the accident?
Well, the 100 yards before the scene of the accident is downhill, sir. The road's in a shocking state. It's bounded on either side by dry stone dikes, and the landscape falls away sharply downwards. This creates a sort of optical illusion, which makes the downward gradient of the road appear much less than it really is.
Well, go on, please.
Well, it seemed to me, sir, this was the primary cause of the accident. These monstrous machines require specialist handling. They have to brake far sooner than ordinary lorries because of the movement of the liquid in the tanks.
Why do you describe these vehicles as monstrous machines?
Because, my lord, that is what I believe them to be. Aesthetically, ecologically, in every possible way.
Oh, you feel strongly on the subject, Constable?
Yes, my lord. I believe that small is beautiful.
If you believe that, you hypocrite, why aren't you back home fighting for Scotland?
Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, your position as defendant does not exclude you from the warning I have already issued in this court. Mr. Latimer.
My lord. Constable, did you eventually decide to take up your position at the top of this hill which you have described?
Yes, sir. My idea was to forewarn the others coming of the danger, which I have also described.
Yes, quite. Now, did something happen as you were driving up the hill?
Yes, sir. I had a sudden impression of movement on the other side of the dry stone dike, on the right-hand side of the car. I immediately stopped the vehicle, went over and looked over the wall. A man was cowering down behind it.
Do you recognise that man here in court today?
Yes, sir, the defendant, Stewart-Mackenzie.
Did you say anything to him?
Yes, sir. I said, did you have anything to do with that blazing lorry down there?
Did he reply?
Yes, he said, piss off, I've broken my ankle.
Yes, now, Constable Alcock, you were alone with Stewart-Mackenzie for some time, were you not?
23.5 minutes, sir.
What happened during that time?
Well, initially, Stewart-Mackenzie was in some pain, but once I'd administered first aid to his ankle, he was disposed to conversation.
Yes, well, tell us about that conversation, Constable.
Well, sir, the first thing he said was, do you realise that perhaps 400 years ago, on a night such as this, our ancestors were probably taking stolen English cattle along this very place we're sitting in? And then he embarked on a monologue. He began with Edward I, Longshanks, and his cruel, bitter, and ultimately unsuccessful attempts to subjugate the Scots. He said that Edward I, who did not speak English, formed the English ruling class mind. Arrogant, cunning rather than clever, and above all, legalistic. Edward used to forge documents which gave him legal right to illegal usurpations. Stewart-Mackenzie said that this argued a rudimentary conscience which the English had since lost. Nowadays, irrespective of their politics, they are still thieves, colonial thieves. And everyone knew that people in power never gave up the power without violence, and that therefore the Scots would have to fight to keep their oil, as they had to fight to keep any sense of identity for centuries past.
Constable, is all that on one page of your notebook?
My handwriting's very small, my lord.
Constable, did you say anything in reply to all that?
I said, sir, that I could not find it in my heart to disagree with him.
Thank you, Constable.
Constable Alcock, there was a rather macabre moment in your evidence in chief when you mentioned the roasting flesh and burning wool.
Oh, yes, the sheep, sir.
Yes, you mentioned the blazing lorry had landed in among a flock of sheep. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Yes. Was the entire flock killed instantaneously?
By no means, sir.
Well, what actually happened?
Well, sir, some of them were killed outright, of course, but others were running around blazing all over the place. So I put a shot into the poor beasts.
You were armed?
Yes, with a shotgun. My own private property happened to be in the back of my vehicle.
And of course not for your protection, Constable.
Oh, no, my lord, for rabbits and hares.
Yeah. And other things that are small and beautiful?
My lord.
Mr. Parson.
Constable Alcock, you made absolutely no mention of the plight of these poor creatures when you reported back to headquarters.
A question of priorities, sir.
What precisely were those priorities?
I'm sorry, I don't understand, sir.
I'm suggesting to you, you were not carrying that gun for rabbits and hares, but because you've been told there might be bigger game afoot that night.
No, sir.
And that you knew that the constables who were coming to join you were armed as well.
I knew nothing of the sort, sir.
One moment, Mr. Parsons. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just received a message that a bomb warning is in operation. I shall therefore ask you to clear the court. We will dispense with customary ritual. Take down the defendant. Now, my dear Collins, we cannot have one of Her Majesty's justices seen to be the first to abandon ship. Now, will members of the jury please file out? Now, members of the public. Will all officers of the court please leave?
The cases in Fulchester are fictitious. Join us tomorrow when the Queen against McLeod and Mackenzie will be resumed in the Crown Court.
My name is Raymond Cornelius Burbank. I'm a superintendent in the Special Branch, Strathclyde Police. I'm stationed at Glasgow.
Davidina McLeod and Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie are charged with stealing an oil tanker lorry. Evidence for the prosecution is still being given. The jury in this trial has been selected from members of the public, whose names appear on the electoral register and who are eligible for jury service.
It's quite a tough area in which to serve. Now, Superintendent, what was the situation on the morning of the 22nd of November, 1975?
The situation was that we knew a tanker was going to be attacked. We knew the organisation that had planned the attack, and we even knew the people that were going to carry out the attack.
How did you know that, Superintendent?
Information received, my lord.
Mr. Lattimore?
Thank you, my lord. Now, you say, Superintendent, that you knew who the people were who were going to carry out this attack.
Yes, sir.
Can you see those people here in court today?
I really must object, my lord. If my learned friend is going to establish identity at this early stage, surely he must establish a pattern of event, information and deduction pointing in the direction of that identity.
I'm inclined to agree, Mr. Parsons.
Well, as your lordship pleases. Now, on the night we have mentioned, Superintendent, who was in charge of the anti-hijack operation?
I was.
Where were you operating from?
Police station, Kendal.
At what time did things begin to happen?
About 1:45 in the morning.
Well, what was the sequence of events?
Well, I suppose the kick-off was when Constable Alcock phoned in, reporting a crashed tanker in flames at the foot of a place known as Hoverhawk Hill.
Well, on that report, what action did you take?
I immediately set off in a police car. And when I got to the scene, Constable Alcock was standing beside a man who was seated in the grass. The man's right leg was sticking out straight in front of him, and his right ankle had been roughly splintered.
Yes. Now, is the man you saw here in court today?
Yes, the defendant, Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie.
Did he say something to you that evening?
He said, "Look at me, busy bee. I fell off the back of a lorry."
Yes, now, did you later on that same evening interview the accused, Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie?
I did.
Where did this interview take place?
Ward 7 of the Cottage Hospital in Kendal.
Now, on that occasion, did you charge Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie?
I did. He then said he wished to make a statement, so I wrote the caution at the top of the statement, which he then signed.
Now, will you please read that statement to the court, Exhibit 4, please?
Astonishingly, I find myself charged by Superintendent Raymond Burnbank with the crime of theft. I am at a loss to understand this, since all I did was simply to repossess Scottish oil, which had been arbitrarily and illegally taken away from the Scottish people without without proper authority or cause.
Now, after he made that statement, did you ask him if he wished to alter it in any way?
I did, and he said no, and he then signed it.
Yeah. Now, can you now tell us what happened with regard to the other accused, Davidina McLeod?
Well, at about 11:20 on the 23rd of November, I received a telephone call from the Marine Division Police Station in Glasgow telling me that Miss McLeod had returned to the city.
As a result of this call, what did you do?
I went straight to Glasgow, went to the flat where Miss McLeod lives, but I had to knock several times on the door before she answered.
Well, when she finally opened the door, did she say anything?
She said, "Christ, Burnbank, you have been reading your Gestapo manual again. It's 4 o'clock in the bloody morning."
Yes, now what in actual fact was the time?
Oh, just about 2 a.m.
Did you then take her into custody?
I did.
Has Miss McLeod also made a statement?
She has.
Where was this statement made?
Marine Division Police Station in Glasgow.
After she was charged?
Yes. After she was charged, she said she would like to make a statement, so I wrote the caution at the top of the statement, which she then signed.
Yes, now will you please read that statement to the court? Exhibit 5, please.
I wish to deny emphatically being in any way involved in the so-called theft of an oil tanker lorry from outside the motorway cafe called Big Mabel's on the outskirts of Kendal. My presence there at the time of the incident was purely coincidental, the coincidence arising from the fact that I had actually hitchhiked south in the actual lorry that was later taken away. The reason for my journey south was to fulfill an engagement which had been offered to me by Mrs. Teresa Gibson and which subsequently turned out never to have existed. Well, after she made the statement, I asked her if she wanted to change it in any way. She said no. She then signed the statement.
Yes. My lord, the Mrs. Teresa Gibson referred to in the statement will be giving evidence later. Now, Superintendent Burnbank, how would you describe the accused, Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie?
I would describe him as a highly dangerous subversive.
Yes. And the accused, Davidina McLeod?
In the same category.
My lord, up until now we've had the trial of two people with certain political ideals and a charge of theft. the introduction of Superintendent Burnbank's opinions has a dangerous tendency to alter the whole course and nature of these proceedings to result in two people with certain political ideals being tried for holding these political ideals.
Well, I would respectfully submit, my lord, that any change in the character of this trial, if indeed there has been a change, comes less from what my learned friend calls Superintendent Burnbank's opinions than from the opinions of my learned friend's client, Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie, on the exclusively Scottish ownership of North Sea oil.
I can see merit in both arguments. My own feeling is that we have here a delicate balance which it is a matter for the jury to consider. That being so, I am prepared to uphold the line taken by the prosecuting counsel.
Your Lordship pleases.
Thank you, my lord. Now, Superintendent, you have described Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie as a highly dangerous subversive. Can you tell us why?
Well, he's openly Republican and anti-monarchist. On 2 occasions, he has visited the Chinese embassy in London. He keeps open house for known Breton extremists, and he publishes a sort of broadsheet called The Trustees, which he's declared to be the voice of the national anarchist.
Yes, quite. Now, in which way is Davidina McLeod inclined politically?
In the special branch, we call her Trilby.
Well, would you please explain that reference?
Well, Trilby's a character, a heroine in a novel, a Victorian novel, I think. She wasn't a very clever girl, but she became a great singer through the evil genius of a man called Svengali. Well, without him, she was nothing.
Are you saying that Miss McLeod was Trilby to Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie's Svengali, and that without him she was nothing?
Well, I would prefer to look at it from another angle, my lord.
And what angle is that, Superintendent?
But while she is with him, she's a very, very dangerous woman.
Thank you, Superintendent. Mr. Latham?
I have no more questions, my lord.
Superintendent, you have made what I can only call a sort of blanket accusation against Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie. I'd like to take the various accusations one by one, if I may. You said, first of all, that Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie was openly Republican and anti-monarchy. Is that right?
That is right.
The Superintendent, a recent poll in one of the Scottish papers says that 40% of the Scots now want independence.
All the other polls agree that the figure is 22%.
Well, whatever the actual figure, the independence carries with it the democratic idea. Now, you're not going to label, what, 1 million or so of your fellow countrymen subversives?
Obviously not.
But surely Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie is one of that 1 million or so people. Now, on 2 occasions he has visited the Chinese embassy in London. Now, is it not true, Superintendent, that on the first occasion Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie was accepting on behalf of a dead friend an award for services to the Chinese community in Glasgow? Are the Chinese in Glasgow subversive to a man?
I should imagine not.
I'm afraid, Superintendent, you imagine too much. The second visit to the Chinese embassy was as a member of the Scottish-Chinese Friendship Society. Now, another member of that delegation was the Lord Provost of Glasgow. You're not suggesting the Lord Provost of Glasgow is a subversive?
No, sir.
Open house for Breton extremists. Do you know a man in Glasgow called Jacques Pilou?
Oh, I know the man.
Yes. What do you know about him?
He's a member of the Free Breton Society.
Yes. Is he an active member?
They have no inactive members.
Well, has he ever been in trouble?
Never been able to prove anything against him.
I suppose that's a special branch way of saying no.
My lord, I protest. That is a most improper remark.
No, I thoroughly agree. Mr. Parsons, would you please refrain from making provocative comments?
Very good, my lord. Superintendent Burnback, what is Pilou's connection with Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie?
Well, they're frequently in each other's company, they visit each other's houses, they share public platforms together.
Yes. Is Jacques Pilou married?
Yes.
Do you know his wife's maiden name? Well, do you, Superintendent?
I do, yes.
Yes. Well, will you please tell the court what it is?
Ursula Stewart-Mackenzie.
Thank you. Is she an activist?
You could say that. She's got 9 children.
Well, that leaves only one thing in your list of Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie's transgressions. He's broadly called a trustee. I have here 2 issues of it, Exhibits 2 and 3. Are you familiar with this publication, Superintendent Burnbank?
Oh, I wouldn't miss a single one of its erratic appearances.
Good. Well, I'd like you to look at the one that is marked Exhibit 3.
Yes.
On page 5, there's a column there headed Drops from the Eaves. Do you see it?
I see it, yes.
Yes. It's almost like a gossip column in a more conventional magazine. Would you agree?
Well, almost, yes.
Yes. Now, I'm going to read out the 3rd item. It says, promotion to superintendent is announced for Special Branch Hardman Chief Inspector Burnbank. Busy B, as he is known, is one of the late ex-Provost Malone's altar boys. Old Bugsy Malone, probably Glasgow's greatest ever political gymnast, was said to be able to kick people upstairs while they were kissing his ass. Now, have you any comment to make on that, Superintendent?
Only that I would like to see whoever wrote this saying it to old Malone's face.
Yes, but the inference is that he was using his influence to further your career.
Like, he was very kind to me, but I certainly was never one of his altar boys.
Yes. I see. Now, Superintendent, in Davidina McLeod's statement, there is a mention of a Mrs. Teresa Gibson.
Ah, there is.
Now, is Mrs. Teresa Gibson the daughter of the late ex-Provost Malone?
She is.
Yes. And is she a very close friend of yours?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Superintendent.
Now, Superintendent, there are such things as front organisations, are there not?
Oh, indeed, yes.
How would you define one?
Well, a front organisation is an organisation on the surface engaged in legal and even praiseworthy activities. But the real business goes on in the back shop, and it's neither legal nor praiseworthy.
Yes, quite. And the Scottish-Chinese Friendship Society could fall into that category, could it not?
Quite easily.
And would you agree that the 1 million or so Scots who allegedly want independence are not all running about stealing and wrecking lorries?
No, they are not.
And you are convinced that Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie is a dangerous subversive?
I am. And a man is known by the company he keeps.
Thank you, Superintendent.
Superintendent Burnbank, would you not agree that the oil in the Polestar petroleum lorry tanker belonged to the Scottish people?
Well, whoever it belongs to, certainly doesn't belong to Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie.
TV lawyers.
I call Mary Teresa Gibson.
Mary Teresa Gibson.
Take the Bible in your right hand, read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Is your full name Mary Teresa Gibson?
Yes.
And do you live at flat 34 Lister Court, Glasgow 2 in Scotland?
Yes, I do.
Are you married or single?
Married, but I'm separated from my husband.
Yes. And how do you earn your living, Mrs. Gibson?
Well, now, that's quite a question. I deal extensively in antiques. I run a model agency and one that handles entertainers. And as if that wasn't enough, I'm also very active in local politics.
And do you hold any position in local government?
Not at the moment.
No, you can only pull the punter so long.
Are you acquainted with the defendants, Mrs. Gibson?
I am.
Are you particularly acquainted with Davidina McLeod?
Well, I did tend to see more of her than of Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie because of me running the entertainment agency.
Yes, quite. Was she a client of yours?
Well, actually, no. I mean, I don't normally handle folk singers. Can't stand them, actually. Most of them aren't singers, and some of them aren't even folk.
Well, please go on.
Well, frankly, speaking as a businesswoman, Davidina just isn't commercial. I mean, she restricts herself to such dreary material, old Scottish songs that nobody understands anymore, and all that political stuff.
Political songs?
I think protest is the word they use. She writes a lot of her own songs, and some of them are outrageous. Then again, she has a very small voice. Quite good, you know, but small. And she's absolutely no sense of how to present herself. Just stands there and sings, with her hair blinding her and her clothes looking like she got them second-hand from a tatty bogle. Still, I did manage to put the occasional wee job her way.
Yes, now, Mrs. Gibson, Davidina McLeod has said in a statement read before this court that on the night of the 22nd of November 1975, she was in Kendal as a result of being offered a job by you. Now, did you, in fact, ever offer her any such engagement?
That is utter fantasy.
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Gibson.
Mrs. Gibson, it would be almost true to say, would it not, that you are a member of a political dynasty?
Yes, almost like the Kennedys in America.
Well, I hope not too like them. Now, your father was Lord Provost of Glasgow at one time.
And a right old chanty wrestler he was, too.
Mr. Telfer.
My father was Lord Provost Malone, a fine, highly respected man.
Oh, come on. I worked for him. He was so
Remove
bloody
that
big
man.
he had front and rear lights.
Remove that man at once.
Eh?
My lord.
Mr. Parson.
Mrs. Gibson, how long did you yourself hold public office?
I was a ward councillor for Garngad East in Glasgow for 5 years.
Yes. Until when, Mrs. Gibson?
Up until the last local elections.
Yes. And did you lose your seat then to the candidate who represented the Scottish National Party?
After 3 recounts.
Quite. The Scottish National Party has been doing remarkably well in local elections recently, has it not?
They've been quite successful.
Newspaper comments see them as making significant breakthroughs in the industrial belt previously dominated by your party. There's a strong feeling that your party is running scarce.
There's a Glasgow saying, if you believe all you read in the papers, you'll eat all you see. Couldn't you ask me something about antiques?
Well, perhaps that's what I am doing. Now, Mrs. Gibson, are you familiar with this publication called The Trustee?
I am. It's sold round the pubs in Glasgow. More accurately, certain pubs in Glasgow.
Well, I'd like you to look at page 4 on this issue, Exhibit 2. Now, there's a column there headed Drops from the Eaves. The second last item, Mrs. Teresa Gibson, wheeler, dealer, party hack and purveyor of flesh with the media, is opening a new antique shop in Edinburgh. Appropriately enough, it's in the grass market.
Very cheap and very nasty.
Yes, now grass market infers that you're a police informer, does it not, Mrs. Gibson?
I suppose so. People like myself are always the target of stuff like that.
Yes. Now, Mrs. Gibson, is Superintendent Burnbank a friend of your family's?
Yes, and has been ever since I was quite young.
Yes, and did your father use his influence to further his career?
Not really. My father was a firm believer in people helping themselves. Who are you laughing at, you bastard? Aye, you, Stewart-Mackenzie, you double-barreled twit. It's you that writes all the rubbish for the stinking rag.
Gibson,
oh,
please.
we know all about you, Stewart-Mackenzie, and that wee tart beside you. We'll sort you both out.
Control yourself, Mrs. Gibson.
I beg the court's pardon, my lord.
So you should. When you are ready, Mr. Parson.
My lord, Mrs. Gibson, you made a statement just now. We'll sort you both out. Who did you mean by we?
I meant myself and the people of the party I belong to.
Yes, you didn't perhaps mean Superintendent Burnbank and yourself?
Certainly not.
Thank you. I think Mr. Latimer better have that. Mr. Gibson, I believe you're on record as saying that if Scotland gains its independence, you will go into exile. Is that correct?
Yes. I am one of thousands of Scots who feel like that.
Well, surely that argues a tremendous hatred for the nationalist cause.
I hate it because I think it is evil.
And perhaps because it threatens a small, cosy political empire. That'll be all. Thank you, Mrs. Gibson.
No further questions, my lord.
Thank you, Mrs. Gibson.
Thank you. Usher, would you please give that to his lordship?
Is this the note I saw being passed by someone in the court?
It is, my lord.
Well, do you wish me to do something about this, Mr...
Well, with your permission, my lord, I feel I have no option but to recall Miss Marilyn Monroe to the witness stand.
Very well.
Thank you, my lord. Marilyn Miss Monroe. Miss Monroe. Miss Monroe, would you mind telling us what you wrote in that note?
I wrote that Mrs. Gibson's voice was the voice I heard on the telephone.
Now, at what point in Mrs. Gibson's evidence did you receive this sudden flash of illumination?
It was where she said, "This is utter fantasy."
Please go on.
Right, when I heard that, I thought, aha. So I listened very carefully. And then I heard the very word.
What word was that?
Target. She said, people like myself are always a target.
Yes, but now, Miss Monroe, you have had already two rather inconclusive identifications to your credit, have you not?
This is different.
Miss Monroe, can you now say positively that the voice you heard was that of Mrs. Teresa Gibson?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as that, Your Honour.
Well, I'm afraid you will have to go as far as that. Otherwise you're wasting the court's time.
Well, it could just as well have been her voice.
No stronger than that. Miss Monroe, did you hear what I said?
Yes, Your Honour. But I just don't think Davidina McLeod did it.
The cases in Fulchester are fictitious. Join us tomorrow when the Queen against McLeod and Mackenzie will be concluded in the Crown Court. Davidina McLeod and Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie are accused of stealing an oil tanker lorry. The trial is in its final day, and the defence is about to present its case. The jury in this trial has been selected from members of the public, whose names appeared on the electoral register and who are eligible for jury service.
Your name is Davidina Esther McLeod?
Yes.
And you live at 25 Ruthven Terrace, Glasgow?
Yeah.
Now, what do you do for a living, Miss McLeod?
I'm a professional folk singer.
Yes. Do you handle your own business affairs, or do you work through an agent?
I handle my own affairs.
Yes. And were you offered any professional engagement on the 22nd of November, 1975?
Yes, I was.
Yes. Can you remember who offered you that engagement?
Mrs. Teresa Gibson.
Yes. And what were the details of the engagement?
It was a folk concert in Kendal at the Methodist Church Hall.
Yes. Now, Mrs. Gibson offered you this engagement, although I believe she detests your politics.
Mrs. Gibson's own politics have a sort of chameleon quality. Put them on top of a banknote and they turn the colour of money.
Yes. Miss McLeod, how long have you known Mrs. Gibson?
Nearly 7 years.
Can you remember the first time you met her?
Yes, it was at a local branch meeting of the Labour Party.
Yes. Can you remember a conversation you had with her that night?
Yes, it was about the great need the party had for all the bright young people like me, and the golden opportunities it offered to bright young people like me, blah, blah, blah. The man who drove me home that night was more direct. He said, Teresa can make or break you in this town.
Yes. Now, who was that man, Miss McLeod?
Superintendent Burnbank.
Yes. Now, Miss McLeod, can we get back to this engagement that Mrs. Gibson offered you? What happened after you had accepted it?
Well, I had to get there somehow. I was a bit strapped for money, so I decided to try and hitchhike.
Yes. And when you were hitchhiking, Miss McLeod, did you suffer an unpleasant experience at the hands of a Mr. Telfer?
Hans is right. When we reached the cafe, I was out of that cabin before the tanker had stopped rolling. My first instinct was to get to where there were people.
Yes. Is that why you ran inside the cafe?
Yes. Then when I got inside, they were all sitting around there and they looked up and, Jesus, they were all Telfers. So I sort of panicked again and went and shut myself in the bog.
Yes. And then what happened, Miss McLeod?
Well, I told myself to calm down and I sorted my hair and slipped quietly out of the loo and started to suss the place out. There was a passage filled with crates of empty milk bottles. It led to the back of the calf. Fields stretching away. Lights in the distance. I just kept walking.
To Kendal?
Yes. I found the Methodist Church Hall. They'd never heard of any concert.
Yes. So, what did you do then, Miss McLeod?
I tried to phone Mrs. Gibson.
Yes, were you able to contact her?
No.
And, did you then go back to Glasgow?
No, I dossed down the night in a hostel. The next day, I walked back to Big Mabel's and waited for a lift.
I see. When did you get back to Glasgow?
I got home about 11:30. I was in bed and asleep before midnight.
Yes, and what happened then, Miss McLeod?
I was wakened by somebody pounding on my door. I opened up and there was Busy Bee and another policeman.
Yes, did you say something to Superintendent Burnbank?
I said something to him about the Gestapo. He told me to get dressed, that he was taking me in.
Yes, what else did he say to you?
When the other policeman was out of the room, he said, "We've got the boy with a hyphen too."
Meaning Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie.
Yes.
Did you reply to that?
Yeah, I said, "This is a fit-up, Burnbank. You're fitting me up. You and that bloody Catholic mafia bird of yours are fitting me up."
Now, Miss McLeod, what reason do you have for making the accusation you've just made against Mrs. Teresa Gibson?
She hates my guts.
Why?
Because she thinks I was the cause of her being bombed out the last local elections.
Can you explain that to the court?
Long before polling day, all the young people in the party, people like myself, the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed youngsters Mrs. Gibson wanted to encourage and open golden doors for, well, we were all pissed off with Mrs. Gibson and her gang, so we got together and made a plan.
And what was the plan?
The day before polling day, we called a press conference. There were 8 of us, and we announced that we were resigning from the party because we no longer felt it was a democratic party and had become simply a caucus dedicated to preserving its own power and nothing else. We accused it of graft, mismanagement, the lot. We said we were prepared to provide chapter and verse to substantiate our accusations. The papers played it up big the next day.
Yes. And do you think that as a result of these activities, Mrs. Gibson lost the election?
I do.
And what are you suggesting was her reaction?
Well, you heard her say in this courtroom that she regarded herself as a member of a political dynasty, a sort of Glasgow Kennedy clan. So what had happened to her was a kind of blasphemy, and she wasn't going to forget the ringleader, me.
So, Miss McLeod, will you tell the court what you think she did?
I think she trumped up this whole case against me. I think the people responsible are Superintendent Burnbank and Mrs. Teresa Gibson.
Yes. Thank you, Miss McLeod.
Miss McLeod, you are now a member of another political party, are you not?
I am.
What is the name of that party?
It's called Trustees for Scotland.
And would that trusteeship include the question of North Sea oil?
Scottish oil.
Scottish oil?
The oil's Scottish and should stay in Scotland.
And if it does not, then people like you will fetch it back.
You've heard my statement. My presence at the calf that night was pure coincidence.
Yes, my experience, Miss McLeod, tends to suggest that most pure coincidences, when examined closely, turn out to be impure falsehoods. Now, the Trustees for Scotland. Is Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie also a member of that organisation?
Yes.
Is he the leader of the organisation?
We don't have leaders. We're structured laterally, not vertically. That doesn't mean you have to lie down on your side to question us.
I'm grateful for the concession. Now, Miss McLeod, what are the avowed aims of your organisation?
There's only one aim. Complete independence for Scotland.
And Scottish oil for Scottish people.
Yes, that too.
Yes. Now, you are a folk singer, Miss McLeod, are you not?
I am.
And show business is a harsh, competitive world.
It can be.
To survive in it, you have to have your wits about you.
Yeah.
There are a lot of sharks around.
Yes.
And yet you have successfully managed to survive in this world for several years, Miss McLeod, have you not?
Yes.
And you now ask us to believe that you shot off to Kendal on receipt of an alleged telephone call without checking out one single item?
I do.
Extraordinary. Especially when the alleged telephone call came from a woman whom, on your own statement, you had every reason to distrust and suspect. Now, Miss McLeod, let us turn to your escape from a fate worse than death at the hands of Peter Telfer, the lorry driver. You say that you were very upset by this experience.
And so I was.
And yet, just over 12 hours after this devastating experience, you are back at the cafe and trying to hitch a return lift to Glasgow.
Yes.
Well, I think that shows an almost incredible resilience on your part, Miss McLeod. Would you not agree?
No.
Or perhaps it merely shows the qualities of being the hard wee cookie which Peter Telfer, the lorry driver, referred to as being essential, in his opinion, for the role of a successful decoy.
No way.
I suggest, Miss McLeod, that when you went out to the back of the cafe, you contacted Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie, and as soon as he and the lorry had gone, you then decided that your role as a decoy was no longer necessary, and you set off to Kendal.
That's nonsense.
Yes, I think you may well be a connoisseur of nonsense, Miss McLeod. For instance, this allegation that Superintendent Burnbank and Mrs. Gibson decided to fit you up, as you call it, is also nonsense.
No!
I suggest that it is a smear tactic against two people who represent twin enemies, the police and your political opposition.
I deny that.
A smear tactic which you saw as a useful, if somewhat melodramatic, red herring to divert attention from yourself, from Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie, and from the theft of a tanker filled with oil.
Ho-hum.
I call Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie.
Take the Bible in your right hand. Read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Your name is Hamish Charles Stewart-Mackenzie.
It is?
And you live at 57 Robertson Avenue, Glasgow.
I do.
What is your profession, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie?
I'm a writer and freelance journalist.
Yes. Now, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, you have made a statement which was read out in court, have you not?
Yes.
And in that statement you say that you are astonished to find yourself in the charge of theft, am I right?
You are.
Why are you astonished, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie?
The trouble with Scotland is that God created it upside down. You have read Buckle, haven't you?
I'm afraid not.
George Bernard Shaw was right. The English do not deserve to have great men.
Well, it might be better, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, if you stick to one point at a time.
Oh, I've every intention of doing that, I assure you.
Thank you. Then can we return to your astonishment at finding yourself on this charge?
No, let's return to Buckle first. I'm sure the court would like to know why he wrote in one of his books that Scotland was unfortunate in being upside down.
Well,
his thesis was that most countries have natural boundaries, which tend also to become natural defences. Mountains, rivers, etc. And within these defences, a national culture and economy can develop with a minimum of hindrance and interference. Unfortunately, in the case of Scotland, the mountains which should be the barrier are all in the north, and the south, with its fertile plains and resources, is left totally defenceless against an aggressive and avaricious neighbour with 10 times the population.
Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, how far back is your defence liable to take us into the mists of history?
I am not here defending myself, my lord. I do not acknowledge having committed any crime, and therefore no defence is necessary. However, if I were to be defending myself, I have always understood that the best defence is defence in depth.
That is a sound military precept, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, but the law is apt to lay more stress on the simple issue of relevance.
Am I to infer from that, my lord, that you are imposing something like a guillotine procedure in Parliament?
I am as little in favour of guillotine procedures as I am of filibusters. And I must point out to you, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, that you are doing your case little or no good by adopting this attitude.
The last reason of the king is always the sword.
Yes, and patriotism, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, has been defined as the last refuge of a scoundrel.
Now, that was said by an Englishman, my lord, and no doubt reflects the English experience.
Proceed, Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, am I right in thinking it is your contention that this court has neither validity nor authority to try this present case?
That is my firm conviction.
On what grounds do you base this conviction?
On the grounds that this court is preempting a decision upon a claim that should first of all be passed upon by a higher court.
What court is that, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie?
The Court of Human Rights in The Hague.
And can you tell us what that claim is?
That Scotland ceased to be part of the United Kingdom 250 years ago and has since been a separate and independent nation.
Yes. What is that claim founded?
On persistent and flagrant breaches of the Act of Union 1707.
I see. Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, could you then detail for the court what you consider to be the actual breaches of this treaty?
The Scottish Mint.
Mint?
Mint. The only place you can be sure of making money.
Yes, of course.
Article 16 of the Treaty of Union stipulated that a mint shall be continued in Scotland under the same rules as apply to the mint in England.
Yes, and this was not adhered to?
The Edinburgh Mint did not produce one single coin after 1710, 3 years after the Union, and the English Parliament finally abolished it in 1817.
Yes. Have you any other instances to put forward, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie?
Article 20.
What did that deal with?
Heritable rights and jurisdiction.
And what exactly were they, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie?
Well, they were feudal courts. No big noble was complete without them. They were his own law courts, where he or his representative could try cases and announce new estate laws.
Yes. How extensive were the powers of these feudal courts?
Oh, how extensive can you get? They had what was called the right of pit and gallows. The right of pit meant that they could lock you up and throw away the key.
And the gallows bit is self-explanatory, is it not?
It is.
Now, what did Article 20 have to say about these feudal courts?
That notwithstanding the treaty, they were to be reserved to their owners as rights of property.
And these rights, I take it, were abolished?
In 1747. The 1745 rebellion scared London, you see.
Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, I do not want the jury to get the impression that you are deploring the passing of these feudal practices. I take it, of course, that you do not.
I think we were well rid of them, my lord.
My lord. Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, so far we have alleged breaches of Article 16 and Article 20. Have you any further examples?
I think we've got enough.
Enough? For what?
Enough to show the contract's been broken.
You don't believe in the adage, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, the more the merrier?
I could throw in the Treason Act.
Yes?
The English scrapped ours and gave us theirs. Now, there was a sweet little number, specially invented by Edward I to deal with William Wallace. Did you know that?
Actually, I didn't.
Well, I'll give you the recipe to take home. First, catch your patriot. Then hang him for a wee while, but not too fatally. Then cut him down, and with a good sharp knife, remove the intestines. Let stand for a wee while, and then cut into quarters. This innovation became known as being hung, drawn, and quartered.
Yes, well, perhaps you were right, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, when you said enough is enough. Shall we sum up?
Why not?
It is your assertion that because of various breaches of the Treaty of Union 1707, that treaty is now, and has been for the past 250 years, null and void.
Exactly. And I'm saying that from the very first breach, the contract was broken, and Scotland reverted to its previous status as a separate and independent nation.
And has remained in that state until the present day.
Right. And because of that, this whole question of theft just does not arise. The oil is, beyond all contradiction, Scottish. And as a trustee for Scotland, I had a duty to repossess it.
Yes. And The lorry, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie?
The lorry was part of the theft from Scotland. It, too, had naturally to be impounded.
Yes. Is there anything further you would like to say to the court, Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie?
Yes. I resent, with everything I am capable of, these 250 years. I resent every wounded Highlander who had his throat cut by the English soldiers at Culloden. I resent the Scotsmen, the friends of the people who were transported to Botany Bay. I resent the weavers who in 1820 were hanged for taking part in a fictitious rebellion set up by an English agent. I resent Mrs. McRae, who had her 2-month-old baby seized on the island of Skye for non-payment of rent. The baby was valued at 6pence. I resent the unknown men who were bundled into the emigrant ships during the clearances. I resent every miner who died in a Scottish pit. I resent every Scottish soldier, sailor, or airman who ever died in an English war. I resent the Scottish men and women, the bright ones, the clever ones, who had to take their brightness and their cleverness further of Scotland. My lord, at the Act of Union, the English paid us a sum of £398,085, 10 shillings, a sum known as the equivalent, as compensation for the loss of our Parliament. After 250 years, what do you owe us now?
My lord, that is the case for the defence.
Mr. Stewart-Mackenzie, did you take a tanker belonging to Polestar Petroleum from outside a transport cafe?
I did.
Did you do this with the assistance of Davidina McLeod?
No, I did it alone.
Did you take it away and thus steal it?
I took it away. I did not steal it.
Thank you.
Members of the jury, you have heard all the evidence. It is now up to you to consider this evidence and to come to a decision. Now, this has been in many ways a complex case. There have been side issues raised. There have been undertones of personal rancor. Now, some of these undertones may be relevant. Some of them you may feel should merely be taken at their face value and nothing more. One thing, however, I do want you to remember, and it is most important that you should keep this in the forefront of your minds. You are the judges of fact. And the basic fact in this case is that a theft was committed. It is now for you to decide by whom it was committed. By both the defendants or by one of them. Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie has admitted taking the tanker. Did Davidina McLeod assist him, knowing that an offence was to be committed? Now, one final thing for you to bear in mind. The defendants are not required to prove their innocence. The prosecution has to prove the guilt of each one. And you must be satisfied that it has been proved beyond all reasonable doubt. Now, that is all. You will now retire and consider your verdict.
Will the foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict on which you are all agreed?
Yes.
On the charge of stealing a lorry, the property of the Polestar Petroleum Company, how do you find the defendants? Davidina McLeod?
Guilty.
Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie?
Guilty.
And are those the verdicts of you all?
Yes.
Hamish Stewart-Mackenzie, the offence for which you have been convicted is serious enough in itself. It is even more serious in that it is liable to touch off crimes of an imitative nature. The sentence of this court is 6 months imprisonment, suspended for 2 years. Davidina McLeod, I am satisfied you shared Stewart-Mackenzie's views. You now share his guilt. You will also share his sentence, which is 6 months imprisonment, suspended for 2 years.
Go on now. Shut up, fellas, shut up. What's going on?